Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. It is April 24th, 2025. Hope you're doing well. Hope your week is ending off peacefully and productively. Tomorrow is Friday. To whom it applies, you made it. Congratulations. The weekend is just around the corner. Hope you have some fun plans. I'll say that now because I'm not 100% sure I'll be tapping in tomorrow. Although I would like to. I got a busy day. So if I don't talk to you, have an amazing weekend, but hopefully I will. All right, we're gonna jump right into it. Let's see what we got today. Ooh, Five of Pentacles, and I see that the Three of Swords, and oh, you can't see anything. I'm just pulling away. Three of Pentacles. Ooh, the King of Pentacles. I'm sorry. I'm just saying random stuff. Five of Pentacles. I knew this card was going to come out again today. I had a feeling. I just had a feeling. And to be fair, what I also saw on the bottom. Oh, well, there's the Knight of Cups, which is one thing. It was this. I saw this peek out the bottom as well. Wow. My goodness, hold on here. And, oh, I just keep all these hidden messages. It's like, don't forget about me. Oh, Seven of Cups. Wow, what is this? Seven of Cups. All right, I'm gonna stop there, but I'm trying to find a way to fit this here because I just feel like it's probably all relevant. All right. Okay, so we got the Five of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, somebody could be sick. Hold on, because that energy is heavy over there. Give me 1 second. All right, hold on. Let's see here. All right, I'm trying to get a sense for a timeline here because I'm not sure if this, okay, let me just speak on this because this is the most clear to me. It looks like somebody has fallen on really hard times, whether it is, not even whether, not just financially, but physically, psychologically, mentally. It's like somebody is down bad. Might even be like what I definitely felt the energy of is being like incapacitated, like in a coma state. And it could have, this could be really specific, but it feels like it was induced by like some type of sudden attack or sudden health condition, like a heart attack or a stroke. Oh, a stroke. Oh my goodness. A stroke that has put someone in either just really in a deep like almost like a intensive care situation, or critical care, like intensive or critical. That's the range. Is really, it is not much better than that. And on this end, it's like maybe someone was having some health issues that they didn't tend to fast enough, and it kind of mounted up over time. Or like I said, it could have been a sudden overwhelm, like maybe even something happened financially or with someone's living situation or livelihood. Maybe they lost a job, they lost a great deal of money, just like a series of unfortunate events occurred that actually could have put someone in like a nervous breakdown. That could be the other thing. So it's either like a nervous breakdown where someone is kind of out of it because, they're not quite themselves. They're alert, they're awake, but they're not really themselves, like in their normal state of mind, their natural state of mind. Or it literally, like I said, could be someone that is not awake or has discovered a condition of which they're either afraid that this is what it might lead to, and that's what I was sensing over here. Ooh, afraid that this is what it might lead to, or the prognosis is so bleak, like finding out something is incurable or inoperable, that this is like the outlook for some, as far as someone's concerned, like their outlook based on whatever the diagnosis or prognosis may be. And maybe the Seven of Cups is like it's kind of unclear, or it's uncertain maybe, because of course, when doctors give you a prognosis, they can only do what they can do from their human point of expertise and training and and things like that, and medical professionalism. But it could still kind of be up in the air maybe for someone. But with the Seven of Cups, it's still more, there's still like it's like getting the news that it's like a 30% chance of survival or 30% chance of success for an operation or something like that, or an opera, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we can do it, but the chances are slim, and there's not really a bright, hopeful outlook for a success rate, you know what I mean? Or something like that, like real heavy over here. But this over here, is a little less clear to me, because I want to assume that it's all the same energy, more or less, because of the fact that we're starting out, and usually that's roundabout the case for me. The Nine of Swords and the King of Pentacles were the most prominent, right? So it just could be someone, it could be someone reflecting on the past, but still, like it could be someone that's thoughtful about when they, when they were well at the King of Pentacles, like that's the polar opposite of the 5. Someone that more or less is grounded in good health, stable, secure, self-sufficient, you know, has a hopeful outlook. One could, you know, more or less derive from that energy in comparison to what's going on over here. So it could be somebody kind of thinking, reflecting perhaps. And what's weird is what I just said, like, oh, because it could be someone, this could be what's going on in someone's mind while they are unconscious. It's like someone's life flashing before them. And they're having, you know, this idle time, maybe psychologically, you know, deep in the subconscious or something. I don't know, this is weird. But they're having they're like having this time to reflect on choices that they've made, chances, more so chances that they've taken. And I would say with the Knight of Cups, is what this is giving me, moving toward the 9 of Swords, is really giving me the energy of like the 4 of Cups, where there was an offer that was made in the cup frequency, which more or less could be love, or sincerity, or just something pure, more or less. And it's like somebody's reflecting on the chances they took, but also the opportunities that they missed, or that they declined, or offers that they declined or rejected. Yeah, it's something like that here. So this could literally, like I said, be going, like, this is all dark, right? So this could be going on in someone's head. You know how you could be thoughtful about what someone is thinking in a coma state, you know, or or in some type of incubated state, or not incubated, but what's the word? Like, yeah, I guess that is like when there's like a induced coma to keep someone out of pain or something like that. Damn. So this could be the things that are going on, the thoughts that are playing in somebody's mind, like they're almost like trapped in their psyche. So very well much so could still be alive by way of a heartbeat and, you know, brain activity, perhaps. But this is the overactivity that's going on internally that no one could know about, you know what I mean? That they may not even be aware of once they awake. But it's, damn, this is deep. This is weird. I don't know. Or maybe they are, maybe they will be. Maybe they will remember. Maybe they will. And it'll be a testimony to experiences, kind of like, you know, like a near-death experience, or experiences kind of like at the gate, you know what I mean, between here and life after type of thing. That's interesting. The 7 of Cups. Yeah, it's like somebody's lost somewhere. And it could be in an illusion or a dream. So that's why I'm picking up like some type of unconscious state here. and somebody's thinking about when they had everything to lose but nothing to lose to make a positive choice. You know, like there were two paths that a person more or less could have embarked on, and it's like this sense of regret that is haunting someone. Yeah, the Nine of Swords can definitely be a haunting. That's haunting someone because of the outcome that they're, you know, that they're currently experiencing. This like really almost agonizing them as to like, damn, you know, almost like a little personal hell, you know what I mean? Honestly, to be playing over what you thought, what you think you should have done over and over and over again, and wishing to kind of like run it back, to have another chance, a do-over, but really being in a state where, like I said, the chances are slim of that, or at least it's unknown, it's uncertain for whomever may be experiencing this, whether or not any type of I don't know, like do-over is possible. And even if there is a do-over, it's still kind of knowing that, like that slim chance energy, like even if you could, if you have a chance to wake up even, so to speak, or to get better, you still wouldn't be able to recreate everything before the decisions that you made that brought you to this point. You know, it's like it still wouldn't be all that you would really desire for it to be in the best case scenario. Damn. So like for someone in a state like this, is like the best you could pray for, hope for, wish for is to at least have your life, you know, to have your wits about you, to have your senses about you, to have, you know, your, as we say, the activity of your limbs, and, you know, the full function of your mind. And it still might be unfulfilling in some way, or unsensational. It could even be, now that I said that about sensations and activities of your limbs, it literally could even be that, if it's not like somebody being unconscious. It could be something where someone may be facing amputation. He's on crutches here. And, or something could have happened, God forbid, like you were in an accident and you wake up with one or two less limbs than when you last were awake and, you know, were alert. And you have to face a life that, you know, is just completely changed forever. It's something like that here. I'm sorry to report. And I would want to say that it's like a warning, you know. That's why I was like, I really want to feel the timeline on this before I just start talking, and it be almost like a sentence, you know what I mean, or like a judgment. But I would like to say that it's like a warning, like a warning before destruction type of message. And maybe it could be in some case, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels faded and or factual, like something that has already occurred that now someone is having to manage or cope with, deal with, accept, whether they want to or not. it's like circumstances that you couldn't get around otherwise, you know, unless you just want to check out, you know what I mean? So that's what I was saying about the energy here, where it's like it could be better, but for whomever is in the present experience of this, it feels like it couldn't get any worse. You know what I mean? Okay, well, that was unfortunate. Oh, come on. For real? For real? For real? For real? I'm gonna just leave that there. Let's try to get some fresh energy out here. Oh boy. What a rough way to begin, honey. Let's see what we got. Ten of Wands. The ending. Six of Pentacles. The end of a generous cycle. It feels like somebody's fall from grace. Like this guy's kind of like a diplomat, you know, like the King of Pentacles, where he may have once been in a position to be charitable or give, you know, to the needy, whether he did or not, you know what I mean? But he was in a position to give. But the Ten of Wands is, although the Ten of Wands is the ending, it feels like, I don't know, like it could be either a transference of fate or tables turning, which is kind of what that card represents, you know, where this person used to be in a position to, I would say in this frequency, kind of look down on those less fortunate than him. Now it's like they're going to be in the shoes of those that they may have looked down upon. Because, you know, some people give charity. First, I guess there are all types of reasons why people do it, you know, but some people don't give with a cheerful spirit or a compassionate spirit. Some people give to feel better about themselves. Some people give for a tax write-off, you know what I mean? Like there's all types of reasons that wouldn't necessarily be pure. Maybe somewhere in there it could be some pureness of intention as well, but there's something distorted about this energy to be falling on such a rough fate. And the Ten of Wands to me is feeling like someone may be about to begin a cycle of struggle that may actually be, or at least it may feel like at this point, especially given all that energy we saw, that it's a full load to bear, you know, not a build up, not a gradual thing. It's like all at once somebody has all of these things, all these pressures, all these problems that they have to manage with very little support, you know, or very little energy. And it's taken all the strength in them to bear it. That's confirming. Yeah, like I feel like this is a strike. Let me get another one on this, but it feels like this is not just doesn't feel like a typical Ace of Wands. It feels like a rebuke from the divine. You know, it's like the heavy hand of the Most High, kind of like bringing the hammer down type of thing for some type of justice, which he is, the Six of Pentacles. He is holding the scales in his hand. But this goes with what I'm saying, because the Ace of Wands is back to 1, right? But this, I feel like that kind of draws on my point about someone starting over, but it being like a heavy burden. So it's the weight of all this, but the intensity of divine essence. So it's like, it's a lot to manage, but at the same time, when you think about, like, consider he never puts more on us than we can bear type of energy, it's probably for the greatest good to change someone's perspective, or to what can I say, like to shift someone's energy for the better. You know, so to me, like what this is reading to me is that whatever burden someone may be, managing, or whatever may be coming down the pike, is like for their own good in a strange way. You know, like a chastisement from the divine to change you, like transform you for the better. You know, it's given like you know, kind of like the Scrooge energy, where he had all this money, but he was kind of like, you know, a miser, and he had his moments, well, kind of, sort of, like his lesson was a bit accelerated because it was just overnight, but he got to see through a series of perspectives where his actions were leading. It's something like that, but I feel like this person is going to see through a series of experiences, the error of their ways in the past, with hopes that it'll ultimately change their path for the future. And that might be the excruciating thing that somebody's in contemplation about, because they're thinking now, like, all I had to do was choose that other path and I wouldn't be dealing with all of this, you know. But now someone is finding themselves at a new beginning that isn't really favorable. It's creative, it's inspiring, it's life-changing for divine's sake and for the greatest good of all. But as far as this person is concerned, it's burdensome. Here's that choice card again, but here it is. Like I said, to transform someone, or at least give an opportunity with the Ace of Wands, like a divine chance to have someone choose higher at the next opportunity to do so, to engage a pathway that would lead them to a higher resonance of their supreme selves, well, of themselves, period, first and foremost. But the idea in aspiring to the lovers is really to advance in some supreme way, you know, to answer to a higher calling, or at least to just be the best that you can be by making the most productive choices that you can make. So also Whoa, look at this. And I was just about to say, so back to that first spread when I was saying like somebody might be like in a like at a crossroads internally where there is really just them and the divine. You know what I mean? Like there is no other distractions. It's like somebody has no choice but to go within because they are within. They're trapped within in a strange way. And maybe that like I was saying, like they're being, as they're mulling over their missteps, they're also being offered a choice, you know, a chance to regenerate and do something different with their life, with their time, with their energy, with their creativity. And there's no guarantee, you know what I mean? Like they don't get to dictate what the outcome should be, but it's like literally being at the crossroads and the divine saying like you have the choice to go back, and like I was like the whole Scrooge energy, like you know, having the chance to do something different based on where you at least have seen your outcome, the outcome has led you to this point, or you know, like to just throw in the towel, you know what I mean? And again, this person wouldn't be able to dictate what that gets to look like if they were to choose to return, but most people more or less would, right? You know, if you have an opportunity for a second chance, you know, a regeneration, a resurrection, or whatever, you would probably take it in our human consciousness without really thinking about, you know, what life would amount to once you return. Because like I said, it could be that Seven of Cups energy where what you wake up to is really not all that great, but at least you're alive and you have a chance to do it again or do something different. Or you know, you could be on the lucky end of that spin and come back, and although you might have some trials and tribulations to overcome to get back to your natural state, get to the wellness, to your divine creativity, to get to a point where you can kind of choose a different path and show and prove in a way. And it could amount to everything and more that you would want it to be. So it's really just kind of like how lucky do you feel? You know, in some cases, one might just be lucky to be alive, you know? Wow, yeah. And this is the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. I was about to say swords, everything but wands. Where someone is a bit defensive, understandably, because it's just a vulnerable place to be. And it feels like there's more against them than there might be for them. Like the only thing that is certain is death at some point, as we saw that card pop out. Whether it's sooner or later, you know, but it's really a thought of whether or not somebody wants to take their chances with prolonging that ending for the possibility of something productive, progressive, prosperous, or if they want to take their chances in whatever the afterlife may be, if there even is such. Because somebody at a crossroads such as this, you can't even be too sure of what lies beyond that darkness. Damn, this literally could be someone at a crossroads. And this hermit is like the guide. Could be an ancestor, you know, or some, you know, crossed over energy that may even be trying to assist, like to bring some light in the darkness. But I'm not so sure. It feels like somebody is still having an internal struggle. Maybe even still distracted with too much of the what ifs and the shoulda, woulda, couldas and the what now or what happens next or what if I, you know, it's like they're not. That's why I said, like, it's, the chances are not, you know, are not guaranteed as to how someone would or will come out of this if they do, because there still might be some fight in the psyche where someone is still so distracted that they're not really paying attention to their inner guidance just yet, you know, or they might be too confused by all the different options and yeah, which is also Seven of Cups. So uncertain and unsure that they feel defensive, like I said, not really knowing what to trust. Yeah, okay. So somebody might not really know what energies to trust. So like I said, this could very well be someone having some type of mental breakdown or some psychosis or an actual unconsciousness such as a coma. But whatever it is, they're fighting to get to their sound mind. And there is support in this place, but that light is far more dim to search out and to focus in on than all of the other distractions, interruptions, and disturbances. That's what it is, disturbances here with the Seven of Wands. So somebody would just have to have a hell of a will and a strength to break out of this in their subconscious, first and foremost, to get to the surface safe and sound, literally sound-mindedly, and then continue on the journey. But like I said, it's not even guaranteed with that Seven of Cups. It's not guaranteed that they can do that much. It's possible, but the chances are not great. So if someone does, you know, the next prayer would be, as I said, that they would really see how blessed and highly favored that they are to do that much, and more or less just surrender to the next leg of the journey, whatever it may be at that point. Because really the way this is set up, someone is more or less supposed to succumb to, I hear, their injuries, their illness, or their circumstances. It's kind of like set up for them to flounder. So I'm gonna leave that there. Let's see what we got on the bottom, because I'm getting up out of this energy. of Wands. Well, they definitely have the potential. They have the potential. They have the creativity deep within them. You know, it might take a great deal of digging, you know, to muster up this courage and, quite frankly, fearlessness. Maybe even some type of creativity or innovation to find their way. But they have what they need. They do. Let's see what he's looking at. To cross over. They do have it. What's this? Oh, I'm seeing too much. What time we got? Oh, I can do it. I don't even know what that's about. They might, like I said, somebody might really miss the boat. Yeah, with the World card here, it's like somebody might miss the boat on account of still focusing, being distracted by the wrong things. Like, I don't think this energy just feels like out of way left from what we were talking about. So like I said, to me, it just feels like somebody's still unfocused or just distracted, maybe by, I don't know, by some temptation of pride and ego, or to conquer something, like maybe to still win. Yeah, to still win. Or they're looking for a way to unbind themselves. Oh, goodness me. It feels like they're looking for some type of, they may still be considering a way that they can beat the system, you know, like do just enough to get another chance, to get back to business as usual, you know, or to regain control in the way that they feel most satisfied or sensationalized to do so. And if that's somebody's ambition, then they might as well just stop right now, just throw in the towel, because it's given that somebody or thinks that they can return, like I said, come back to the world and have things be exactly the way that they left them, when that ship, literally with the Six of Swords, has long since sailed. Conditions are not the way that they were when they left. Their condition is not what it was when they left. So, and maybe that's the point, that's the issue of being stuck here at the crossroads, because the spirit always knows, you know, your heart. We did see the Three of Swords, like the spirit can read your heart signature and know what your true intentions are. No, that's like somebody praying like, Lord, please, I swear I'll never do it again if you just save me this time, or I'll be better if you give me another chance, or I'll do it the right way this time, or whatever. And it sounds real good. And most times, sometimes, you know, we've all prayed a prayer, something like that at some point in time, more than likely. And there's grace for the ways in which we may fall short from our promises, or we wouldn't be living testimonies of it. But this feels like life or death for someone. And until there is perhaps a sincerity in someone's heart to really change, to really shift their mindset, to change their ways, to use their power for good, ultimately, they might stay stuck. It could be, like I said, somebody that'll be in a coma for some indefinite amount of time where the doctors don't know when they might wake up or have much of a prognosis of if they will. Or someone is, you know, on a downward psychological spiral that there really is no cure for. You know what I mean? There's no way to really remedy what they're going through except for them to be delivered in some spiritual or supernatural way. But in this case, like, the deliverance is in someone's, their deliverance is in their own hands more than they truly may appreciate at this time. But I'm not sure if they realize the sensitivity of that power and the grace that comes along with it. And perhaps until they do, they may stay in an unconscious or some subconscious slumber in some type of way until they can turn that switch on, and the divine is, you know, is sure of it. Otherwise, they could be released to pretty much self-destruct if this is an energy where they, like I said, they just come back and just try to start doing life the way that they used to. It'll be a certain demise in that case. And for whatever reason, this is someone that is precious enough to have a chance. That's one thing that seems sure with the Lover's card here, the Hermit, the Ace of Wands. It's like the divine is trying to save somebody from themselves. Someone's supreme self is trying to save them from their lower nature, you know, and give them a chance to fully aspire to integrate that energy within their human being. Will they, though? That remains to be seen. That is the question at hand. For someone or someone's. All right, I'm gonna leave that there because that was interesting. All right. And yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.